Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the All Things Football podcast. So, this week we're going to be talking about the international football fixtures that have happened this past week. Going to be talking about the Carabao Cup TV selection, the strange football facts from myself, Adie, and then we're going to be going through League One, League Two, and the non-league roundup. So, Dan, how are we?
Doing great, pal. Yourself, had a good week?
Yeah, not too bad, not too shabby, not too shabby. So,
Fantastic.
where are we starting with? International football.
International football, yeah. England, Andorra have just kicked off. What a fantastic performance by the team in the week. Away at Hungary, a 4-0 victory.
If anybody's stuck on the result, it was 4-0 to England away at Hungary in the week. Was there any massively standout performances, Dan, from what you saw?
I think it was performance really from the team. Yeah, absolutely. It was very hostile conditions. Hungary has always been one of those places. Obviously, there was
there's sort of unsavoury scenes we don't want to see, which we did see.
Unfortunately, there was. Yeah.
We just need UEFA to actually do something about it, don't we? There's been calls for a long time for certain nations with supporters. We don't want to get too political. That's not what we're about. But we do need to see action be taken, don't we?
Definitely. And you know what? I'd much rather us talk about what a fantastic performance it was from the lads. I think they showed character.
Raheem Sterling, I've got to give praise to him for his character and the fact he just does not let it get to him.
Not at all. No, not at all. I think it was we struggled the first half, I think. I think we just tried to get ourselves into the game as best as we could. But yeah, the second half, I think the lads were really up for it. Raheem getting on the score street straight away. Good to see Harry Kane notching a goal, Harry Maguire,
Brilliant.
and then Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
The pictures of Declan Rice was quite amusing. And you know what?
There's a lot of memes during the week, wasn't there, of Mr. Rice?
There was, and you know what? You've got to, simply because if you don't, that affects you more for the game. And I think the lads there, they did really, really well. The Puskas Arena isn't a nice place to go. We saw it during the Euros. Hungary had a bit of bother with some of the supporters during the Euro 2020 tournament. But overall, a fantastic performance, 4-0. And like I said, we're playing Andorra now. Just a couple of minutes gone in the game.
2 minutes in, just kicks off, hasn't it?
All change from Gareth Southgate.
So we've got Johnston in goal. We've got Reece James, Cody, Mings, Trippier at the back. Alexander-Arnold, Henderson and Bellingham in the middle. Okay. And then we've got Saka, Bamford through the middle and Lingard. That's nice to see. Something different, isn't it?
Something different. I think we need to. As much as people might moan at the team and the changes, I applaud Gareth for what he's doing, simply because we do have Poland in the week, and it'll be great to go there and again get another fantastic result, get the other 3 points. Gareth and the team are definitely going for that 100% record in this group. I think there's no reason why we shouldn't. There's no reason why we shouldn't. No.
If we win today, is this going to be 5 from 5, 4 from 4?
5 from 5.
Yeah, 5 from 5.
Obviously, well, we lost on the penalty shootout, but we've got a great run under us.
Sorry, I should have said in terms of qualifying for the World Cup.
Yes, correct. This will be 5 and 5. Patrick Bamford, it's great to see him.
Let's see what he can do.
It's great to see him in the team. First cap. There's some players in there that I like the look of, and you know what? We need to see these players just simply because they are the future. It is a young team. I'm interested to see how Jude Bellingham gets on. It's always good to have that level head of Jordan Henderson in the squad, and then I think Saka needs a game. It wouldn't be great to see him get on the score sheet today against Andorra. But yeah, so far so good. A couple of minutes in, like I've said, and England doing well in Group I.
Yes, Group I, that's right. It's good to see. I'm going to give a bit of special mention to Tyrone Mings, actually. I thought he was very solid during the Euros when he actually got some game time until the main centre-backs came back. Very solid compared to his... He tends to have a bit of a gung-ho approach, doesn't he?
He does.
He looked very solid when he had to step in.
You look at his time at places like Ipswich and Bournemouth. I think he was quite lucky when he got his move to Aston Villa, and I'm glad. In a way, I'm quite glad he did, simply because he has come into a great central defender now for England and for Villa as well. And I think that move has done him the world of good. And you're right, during the Euros, he had a really good couple of appearances before. Obviously, Maguire came back into the team. But yeah.
He stepped up. He did. I think he was quite solid.
They all did, didn't they, during the Euros?
Yeah,
I think they all stood up. I think the nation was behind us. It was so nice just to forget about what was going on in the world.
Yeah,
you know what?
Definitely.
I went into that final. I don't know about you, Adie, but I went into that final with no anticipation if we were to win it. It was just great to go in my lifetime, in our lifetime.
Great to see us in a final for a start.
In a final, absolutely. And you know what? All roads now lead to Qatar next year. I'm looking forward to it. Although
November, isn't it, next year?
November, yeah. So I'm gonna have a Winter World Cup, which is going to be an interesting one.
It's going to be freezing for us, and it'll be lovely out there.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So it's one that we've never had before, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. But yeah, England's. What more can we say? They're playing well. They're on course for another World Cup, which is fantastic. In terms of Group I itself, let's not just focus everything on England.
No, we can't just focus on England. Definitely not. In terms of Group I, what we got? So we've got Poland, Hungary, Albania, Andorra, and then San Marino in the group, haven't we?
That's it. That's who we've got. And then obviously we've only had the games that are playing currently in the week. We saw Andorra, who we're playing at the moment. They won 2-0 at San Marino. We've mentioned Hungary and England with the 4-0 victory there. And then Poland winning 4-1 over Albania. In terms of the fixtures today, Albania, Hungary, San Marino, Poland. So as much as I said last week, I love an underdog. Wouldn't it be great though if San Marino could get that victory there?
Just to see them score goals sometimes is great.
It's fantastic, absolutely. I think in terms of Poland, they're the ones. If you look at the table, they're the ones that are going to be closing us down.
They're going to close down our gap, aren't they? Really,
there's 5 points. And realistically, we're looking at this now. We're looking at England. It should be 3 points. We'll see how we get on over the course of this game.
Should be. Never say never, but should be a 3-pointer.
Interested if Albania can beat Hungary, because Albania would then go above Hungary in the table.
If you look at the table, 7 points for Hungary, 6 as it stands before kickoff today. Yeah, definitely. That'll be a tasty game. Unfortunately, like we've gone back with San Marino, if they can score a goal, what is it, 0 for goals scored, 12 against at the moment.
12 against at the moment.
Get goals, which
just a goal. That's all they want, ain't it? These nations that come into these qualifiers, they just want a goal, or even just to get a point. We'll move on.
To be honest, for them, it's to see certain players at their stadiums as well.
Absolutely, I think we were quite lucky. If you remember that first group game, we played San Marino at Wembley, and yes, it was behind closed doors, but they gave us for the first sort of 10 minutes. They bowed, they did, and then as soon as that first goal went in, that's when obviously the curtain came down for them.
Then you've also got with professional semi-pros, you've got fitness to think about as well, and obviously they have real they have jobs, don't they, as well to go to as well as playing football.
Definitely, some of these are policemen, firemen, teachers. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It is tough for them, especially coming up against a squad like England, especially in the first group game. Coming to Wembley, it's a shame that they didn't get an opportunity to play in front of 80,000 at the time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so far so good for them. So yeah, for England-wise, looking good in Group I.
Absolutely flying, yeah.
Absolutely fine. Yeah. What more can we say about England? I think it's quite a nice, easy conversation to have when it comes to England.
Like we said, we've crossed over four wins from 4, 13 goals scored, 1 conceded. You can't really give more than that. You cannot
grumble at that. And the goal we did concede was against Poland.
Exactly.
So
was it Lewandowski?
It wasn't. No, it was Moda.
No?
It was Moda for Poland at the time.
Okay.
That was back in March. But yeah, it's one of those where, like you've said, we've scored 13. We've only conceded the 1 goal. We go into this game, 8 minutes gone, still 0-0. England, Andorra. All eyes are going to be on that Poland game in the week, which is in Warsaw. Again, not an easy place to go to.
Not a nice place to go to. No, they make it difficult for the opponents, don't they?
For you, who, other than, I think we both feel that England will top the group and they will make the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Who do you think joins? Who do you think advances to that second round from Group
with
I?
England? I've got it. I would have to go with Poland, purely for their experience, and then you can never go against Lewandowski.
Definitely. I think I'm
looking talisman for how long now? Long time.
Far
and he's
too
still
long,
going.
yeah.
Still
Far
going.
too long.
And for Bayern Munich as well, isn't he?
And I'm looking at the fixtures quite now. I think, if anything, it could go down to the last game. The last game of the groups is in November. Poland do play Hungary in that last game. It could potentially go down to that. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I can't see past Poland myself when it comes to that.
Definitely.
So yeah, Group I, nice and covered really. Nothing more really we can say. The game's on. I'll keep us updated as we go through with England and Andorra. Just coming up to the 10-minute mark now. Pinging it around quite nicely. Bamford's had a couple of chances, but yeah, not too bad. Over to you for Scotland.
Got to get into the game, haven't they? Get the feel. Oh, Scotland. Yeah, let's talk about Scotland actually. So it was a 1-0 win over Moldova, wasn't it?
So they got the 1-0 win yesterday over Moldova. Yeah, and then early in the week they lost to Denmark 2-0 over in Copenhagen. They're still there. They've still got a chance.
They can still qualify, can't they?
They can indeed. I'm just looking at Group F now. Denmark lead the way. Played 5, won 5. They've not conceded a goal yet, Denmark, and they've scored 17 goals.
Wow.
Israel are
17,
yeah. Israel is sitting in second on 10 points. So you've got Scotland in third.
Be interesting to see if Israel can.
You know what? I was thinking
they
that.
Qualify for a tournament.
And I think we said enough times last week that we do like the underdog and team that's not been there for a very long time. It
definitely
qualify for that. But home nation wise, we definitely want as many home nations in that World Cup next season. Scotland.
It would be great to have an England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and even Republic of Ireland all in the same tournament. That would be the goal, wouldn't it? See them all.
Absolutely, yeah. And by all accounts, reading the reports from yesterday, Scotland played well. It was the only 1-0 victory, but a win's a win at the end of the day. It was good to see the crowd back
qualifying,
at Hampden
as long
Park.
as you grind out your results, that's what matters. Then 3 points.
Absolutely. Dykes got the goal. It was quite early on, actually. I think it was within the first 15 minutes Scotland got their goal. And you know what? They defended well. They got the result. They've got some tough fixtures coming up. Scotland's, was it September? They go to Austria for their fixture there. And Austria, again, a team that normally you would think would be there and thereabouts. So we can't say too much, really, because that's quite a tight group. That top
That's in a couple of days, isn't it? On Tuesday night?
Yeah, Tuesday night. So bar Denmark, Israel, Scotland, and Austria, they're all vowing for that.
Definitely going for it, aren't they? For that second place, yeah. I think Denmark, we've got it. I'm going to put my head on the line and say they've safely qualified. By the way it stands, to be
definitely,
honest.
I think
5 points clear, 5 games gone.
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. Denmark are there. Denmark will be at the World Cup.
It would have to be
a
catastrophic next 5 games for them not to qualify.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think for Scotland fans, you can have a little bit of hope. I think the second game. There. You've drawn against Austria. You've drawn against Israel already. What's to say that you can't pick up those points?
Absolutely.
Against those teams again. So yeah, good luck to Scotland away to Austria on Tuesday evening. Denmark play Israel and Faroe Islands are playing Moldova.
The bottom 5, 5th and 6th, isn't it, for that one? Faroe Islands.
Yeah, 5th and 6th. Faroe Islands, the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
As they call it.
Unfortunately for them, blimey, it's 4th place Austria on 7 points. Faroe Islands and Moldova both on a point each. So there'll be, battle for the wooden spoon there, definitely.
Definitely, but all eyes. Scotland can do it. They're only 2 points behind Israel. There's still a chance. But yeah, good luck to Scotland on Tuesday night. So
should we talk about Wales? Okay, so Group E, Belgium, top of the group. That's no real surprise, is it, to be honest?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think Wales, did they play a qualifier in the week? I think they played a friendly. They played a friendly in the week.
Yes, they haven't
Finland. They played Finland. Harry Wilson actually missed a penalty early on in the first half in that game. So Wales could have won that. They did win today. So Wales did win today earlier on in the day. So they did win away at Belarus 3-2.
And I believe, is it Estonia they've got next on the 8th?
I believe so. So that's So on the 8th. So yeah, they've got Estonia at home. So Estonia coming to town. Belarus play Belgium. Belgium are playing this evening against the Czech Republic. But again, another group.
That'll be a tough game, that Belgium-Czech Republic.
It's actually
Belgium can extend the points, or if the Czech Republic can catch them back up. It's only 3 points, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know what? It's looking at the group. It's not very one-sided, really. Belgium sit top. They've got 10 points.
I mean,
Wales on 6.
Wales a game in hand, and they're only 4 points behind Belgium in third. So
Exactly.
Still,
Again, Belgium for me definitely go through for that game. I don't know what to say. Wales are very
the second, it's going to be a battle between Czech Republic and Wales. I'm going to say
definitely. And you know what, Wales can take advantage of that because they beat Czech Republic in March with the Daniel James goal. I remember watching that one, and you know what, they left it late, but they got the win against Czech Republic, and that's all that matters.
That's
when
all
it
that
comes
matters.
to October,
that result doesn't matter how it's scored, who scores, whatever. As long as you get that goal, 3 points, done. Move on. That's it.
3 points against Estonia in a couple of days' time. Fantastic. And then they go to Czech Republic. So they go over to Prague in October. They win that. It should be safe betting then for Wales then to at least get that second spot. They can
win the return game. Yeah. If they can get the return win against Czech Republic, they'll be flying.
And you know what Wales are like, especially when they've got that buzz, got the full house at Cardiff. Absolutely. They've got Belgium in the last group in November. What's to say that they could get into that second spot? Belgium maybe just slip up somewhere, get the odd point here and there. What's to say Wales then couldn't take them? But for me, Belgium, Wales, they should advance.
So if we're looking at Belgium, they've got Belarus on Wednesday. Who else have they got? Let's have a look. Czech Republic today? Oh yeah, we said that before. You did say that. They've got that playing them today, aren't they? Tonight.
They did indeed. And how great is it? I watched the game earlier. How great is it to see Gareth Bale in a bit of form as well? Hat trick.
Yeah.
Nice little hat trick from him. Again, they left it late. I think they had a penalty. He scored 2 penalties. The Belarus defending was pretty shoddy, if I'm honest with you. It was 2-2 up until the 93rd minute, and then Bale, as Bale does, gets that goal. Comes up with the goods, gets that 3 points. It was a strange one, actually, because it wasn't actually played in Belarus. I'm not too sure of the reason why, actually. It was played over in Russia, this one, so I'm not too sure what happened there.
Yes, I did hear about because he threw a bit of a cheeky jibe, didn't he, at Wembley?
He did indeed.
The neutral ground.
A neutral ground, absolutely, yeah. Gareth Bale doing Gareth Bale stuff. But I think he's going to benefit now under Carlo Ancelotti at Real Madrid.
He might actually see how much game time he gets there as well.
Definitely, and I think he will. He'll be in Ancelotti's plans for the season. You can't, for me, you still don't leave someone like Gareth Bale out of a squad.
He's a game changer, isn't he?
He did. He had a good season with Tottenham, which was good. So obviously, I think the Spurs fans and everyone else. And
his form really picked up, didn't it, in the second half of the season?
Sorry to break. Saka with an absolute golden chance to make it 1-0 England. So I think they're all crying for a corner. But yeah, still 0-0 England and Dora. But yeah, he did. Sorry, carry on.
I was just saying, Spurs on loan last season, he had a bit of it. His second half of the season was great. I think after Mourinho left, he had got more games, more game time, didn't he?
He did indeed. Yeah, it was a weird loan spell, wasn't it? Because you highly anticipated that he would be in that squad.
It was like, oh, Gareth Bale back at Tottenham. Can we see if he can sort of relive what he brought to the club beforehand on his return? Yeah.
And he spent the majority of it pretty much
on the bench. A lot of time on the bench, but then like I said, when Mourinho went, he actually helped him out quite a lot, didn't he?
He did, and Gareth Bale does what Gareth Bale does. He comes on the pitch, he can influence. You know what he has? He's got a very arrogant streak in him as well. So if he's annoyed with something, he does. And if he's annoyed with something,
just got to disrupt. We've just had a goal. Jesse Lingard has scored for England. Lovely little finish in the box.
Perfect stuff. So Jesse Lingard on the score sheet, and you know what? It's been that way for England. Sorry to deviate, but yeah, it's been that way so far. It's been a dominant performance. Just need to put away those chances, and we have done with Jesse Lingard, which is fantastic. But yeah, for Wales, for me, Belgium, Wales, they come out of that group nice and easy, I think, unless something categorically goes wrong.
Like I said, I think I said before, didn't I? In the previous group with Denmark, if Belgium somehow really slip up, which you can't expect to see it with the likes of Lukaku, both Hazards, the quality in that squad, they would have to have a catastrophic turn of events to lose for top spot, wouldn't they, really?
Definitely. In terms of Belgium, I'm just looking at that. They've scored lots of goals. They've scored 17 goals. They've conceded 4.
Exactly.
But they are scoring goals. They are scoring goals. So
Lukaku, you can't get past Lukaku. Brilliant.
Just about to say, Belgium, one of those teams. If they turn it on and they get into 5th gear straight away, they're going to destroy you. They're going to absolutely annihilate you. And you know what? They are doing that in goals, in a goal storm way. But I just thought it'd be maybe like Denmark, 15 out of 15.
Yeah.
But no, they're not. They've played 4, won 3. But hey, at the end of the day, they are playing again this evening. But yeah, we'll see how the results come.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
What about our friends over the water, Northern Ireland? How are they doing?
Northern Ireland, Group C. Whew, tough group. Italy, Switzerland, Bulgaria, Lithuania make up the rest of their group. Northern Ireland currently sat in 3rd place, played 3, won 1, drawn 1, lost 1.
Great result in the week. Yeah, today? Great result in the week. Away at Lithuania, winning 4-1. They've got Estonia today in a friendly. Yes. So that's a friendly, just to make that clear, it is a friendly, that one today. So there's no World Cup qualifying for them today. It's a strange group because you look at it, Italy, Switzerland, Northern Ireland, Bulgaria and Lithuania, but the games are here, there and everywhere. Switzerland have only played 2, Northern Ireland have only played 3. So yeah, they're a bit hit and miss.
So only Italy and Bulgaria have played the 4 games. Switzerland have played 2, won 2. Northern Ireland and Lithuania are on 3 games.
Coming off the back of winning the European Championships, as they did on penalties,
yeah.
They were poor. They were really poor the other night against Bulgaria. They only picked up a draw.
Sorry, I'll just pause you quickly there, Dan. We've just had another finish from Mr. Lingard, but it's been ruled offside. Sorry, back to what you were saying about Italy.
Yeah, Italy, they didn't look themselves, actually. They didn't look themselves. But yeah, they come away with the point. They scored early on, Italy. But yeah, 1-1 Bulgaria.
This is the thing. You go back to Italy. I mean, in the Euros, their style of play was what fascinated me, because you normally think of Italy as like a very defensive, very solid team, but they were just phenomenal. All areas of the pitch, attacking and everything. They had more flair, didn't they?
They've got a tough game today. Switzerland away.
Never an easy game.
Could we have another World Cup where Italy aren't in it? Just after coming off the back of.
Can you imagine?
Don't get me wrong. Italy were fantastic during the Euros. They were
brilliant. But like you said, even though, like you said, they didn't start off well in qualifying, their record at the moment says it all. Really, played 4, won 3, drawn 1, scored 7, conceded 1. So they know how to get the results. But like you said, if they go to Switzerland and Switzerland somehow get the result, it's all to play for.
Switzerland got 2 games in hand as well. So exactly that. It's all to play for. Northern Ireland's in 3rd. Let's not forget them. So 1-1, drew 1, lost 1. 4 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Sitting on that 4 points. It's going to be tough.
Interesting.
It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be good from a Northern Ireland point of view. I don't think top spot's in their reach. There's a chance. So. There's a chance they could finish 2nd, but I don't know. I think Italy, Switzerland, they could. Just
good thing for Northern Ireland, they have got that game in hand on Italy.
Exactly.
To catch up a little bit.
Exactly. And when it comes to the group stages, Northern Ireland are playing in the week. They've got Switzerland in the week. So Switzerland playing Italy tonight, and then they've got Wednesday night.
Hungry Northern Ireland. They had their first win in quite some time, didn't they, the other night as well?
Ireland. That's it. Yeah, they went to Lithuania. They got the 4-1 win, and it was good. It's good for them because you expect a little bit of Northern Ireland to be in and around. I think we went through a period, didn't we, where we knew like Northern Ireland, Wales, they weren't going to qualify, but Northern Ireland and Wales
gave it everything to get there, which we'd like to see as well.
Absolutely, and it's a shame that Northern Ireland weren't there this summer.
I want to see them get to it. I do really want to see Northern Ireland get to a Euros or a World Cup.
But it was great. It was great. Northern Ireland at what was the tournament in France? 2016. So Euro 2016.
Yeah,
they played Wales, didn't they? And they did really well. And it was, I think it was only it was Scotland that were the only home nation that actually missed out on that tournament. And I think that's what we want. I think it would be great. As much as the groups are looking really tough, we've looked at Scotland so far, there's a chance. We've looked at Wales so far, there's a chance. And even with Northern Ireland, I think the next 2 games for Switzerland, if Switzerland can beat Italy tonight,
going to be an interesting game.
And if Switzerland can beat Northern Ireland on Wednesday night, then I think it would be, for me, a game over. Because Northern Ireland play Switzerland back to back. So they're playing in September on Wednesday, and then they'll play again in October. So they are playing them back to back. So We'll see. We'll
It'll be
see. I
very
might
interesting
even
games
tune
for
into that one on Wednesday night for Northern Ireland,
that. That's
Switzerland.
it. Is it for a neutral? That's a group to watch out for. There's a lot going on there. Fixtures all over the place. How many games the teams have played, and Italy aren't as comfortable as you'd think as well.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're very up and down, aren't they? Italy. It would be a shock. You imagine Switzerland and Northern Ireland getting through and Italy missing out.
Can you imagine that? Jeez.
Unbelievable. Well, I think from a home nation's point of view, there's a great chance. England, by looking at this performance and then getting the result on Wednesday, I think that makes us qualify automatically anyway.
If we get this win today against Andorra, I think obviously you can't never say never, but it's looking very good for qualification. Definitely.
And everyone listening that's going to be listening to this, which we thank you for doing. We know England are going to be there or thereabouts. Scotland, as we mentioned, they've got a good chance.
Absolutely, still all to play for, which is great
for all of them, even Wales and even Northern Ireland. From that point, so from a home nation's point of view, I think, they're doing really well. There's nothing much more we can say. I don't know about you, but international, I don't like the breaks.
I'm going to speak a little bit, sorry, just to finish with the internationals. Republic of Ireland, we don't class them as a home nation, but obviously they are near our waters. Group A, they are currently sat down in 4th place, and they have got, if they want to get anywhere near the playoffs, they've got to make up some ground. Played 4, won none, drawn 1, lost 3, and they've got Serbia and Portugal, the top 2 teams.
They've been
Luxembourg are above them as well, which is shocking for me.
I think from the fans of Ireland, they're going to be shocked with that. They've not had a great qualification. I think they were unlucky earlier in the week when they played Portugal. They did lose 2-1. That Ronaldo masterclass he turned on in the final few minutes.
As he does, we know that.
As he does. He turns it on when he wants to. But Serbia, Portugal, Luxembourg, I think that's the shock for me. And then Azerbaijan.
I've never seen them within reach of the playoffs before.
Definitely not. Definitely not. They're doing what Kosovo are doing at the minute. We'll move on to that group in a bit later on. But I think earlier on in the week for Group A, it was Luxembourg beat Azerbaijan 2-1. Pinto and Rodriguez with the goals there, and then we've just mentioned Portugal beat Republic of Ireland 2-1 in the Algarve with Ronaldo doing Ronaldo things. There was a funny moment. I don't know if you saw it, but our player from West Brom, Dara O'Shea.
They had a bit of an altercation, didn't they?
Well, that's it. And I think Ronaldo's got to get used to that again, coming back into the Premier League. I just want to put out there, actually, I think I said last week that there was no chance of him getting the number 7 shirt. He's got it. He's got his number 7 shirt, and that's only happened because Daniel James moved to Leeds for 25 million. That's freed up the number 21 shirt that he had. Cavani has number 21 at Uruguay, which then means Ronaldo gets his number 7 shirt. So all round happy time for, I think, Cavani as well. He likes wearing that number 21 shirt, don't he?
Absolutely. That's his Uruguay number. That's
his Uruguay number. Everyone knows Mr. CR7. So just to draw that one out of the way. I said last week that it wouldn't happen. It has happened. Premier League have allowed it. I think
there was a lot of Man United fans who were waiting for confirmation so they could get their shirts printed as well. So that's good for them.
The queues were massive. The queues were massive. I think the transfer in total was 16 million, and then there's plus more for whatever reason there is. But not too bad for a 36-year-old.
He's going to be a bestseller, isn't he, with that number and that name?
I'm actually, for the first time, we're going to talk about TV selections a little bit later on, but I'm actually annoyed that Manchester United and Newcastle ain't on the telly just so we can see that. But by the by, we'll cover that next week when the Premier League returns. But Serbia, Portugal, it's done for me. Republic of Ireland.
I can't see past them, to be honest, but Luxembourg, it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
We've got Serbia at home next, then away to Azerbaijan. And then they've got Portugal again, and then they've got Luxembourg. Never say never.
Nope.
But I think Portugal and Serbia.
Portugal.
Good luck, Luxembourg.
Serbia fighting with Portugal for first place as well.
Absolutely. And they're not too far off each other. 1 goal in it, both on 10 points. When do they play? Do they play each other soon?
Let's have a look. Serbia, Portugal, 14th of November, I can see.
Last game. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. The last game of qualifying. Portugal,
Could be all
Serbia.
there.
That'll be a good game, especially if because well, you finish top, you're automatically through. But if you finish second, you go to them playoffs.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. So Group A, yeah, for me, Serbia, Portugal in Group A.
One of them two.
Although,
definitely.
good luck, Republic of Ireland. You're having a tough time at the minute. You really are.
Definitely. Just a little bit of a run through with the internationals. So Group B, you've got Sweden top. They beat Spain the other day. Actually, that was a bit of a standout result for me.
It was indeed.
Spain had lost in the year. In the World Cup
28 years.
For a long time. Yeah.
28 years. Spain lost their first World Cup qualifier in 28 years when they lost 2-1 to Sweden. And at the minute, that group is looking tight.
Yeah. Like you said, with Kosovo, they got the win. They got 2 losses in third place on 3 points. You never see Kosovo ahead of the likes of Greece. I mean, they have fallen a little bit in recent years, but that's interesting. But I think it's going to be a fight between Sweden and Spain, isn't it, in Group B? By the looks of it.
Yeah, we've only had
Sweden got the 2-1 win as well.
Yeah, we've got the 2-1 win. The fixtures that have only been played this week: Georgia 0, Kosovo 1. And then, Sweden getting that 2-1 victory over Spain with Isaac and Clinton, and then Sola with the goal for Spain. That was close, sorry. England still 1-0 up against Andorra. So the fixtures for today. So there's fixtures today: Kosovo, Greece, as you just mentioned. Did Kosovo do it?
Kosovo, Greece is kicking off at 7:45 tonight.
Do you see a win? Do you think Kosovo?
Do I see Kosovo winning that game? Well, so if we go back to the group, where are we? Kosovo, Greece. Sorry, there we are, Group B. Okay, Kosovo in third. Like I said before, 3 wins. 3 played, 1 win, 0 drawn, lost 2, 3 points. Greece on 2 points. Got the game in hand. So ideally, Greece, if they got the win, they'd overtake Kosovo. They'd have a chance of getting that second place, possibly, but I can see it being definitely between Sweden and Spain. I'm going to go with a sneaky Kosovo 1-0 win. That's my prediction.
Sneaky Kosovo 1-0 win over Greece. Spain are playing Georgia tonight. Categorically, that should be a Spain victory.
Should be on paper a Spain win, yeah.
And that would actually put Spain 2 games on top of Sweden. So Sweden would actually have 2 games in hand. Play 3-1-3 Sweden. Maybe could Sweden top this
Sweden
group?
aren't playing tonight, are they?
No, they're not. No, they're playing in the week. So it's Georgia, Sweden in. Apologise. It's Greece, Sweden in the week on Wednesday, and then Kosovo, Spain in the week as well.
Could you imagine if Kosovo could get anything against Spain on Wednesday?
It'd be fantastic. Even a draw, even just getting a draw. They played earlier on. They played earlier on in the groups, I believe. So Kosovo lost to Sweden 3-0, and then they lost to Spain 3-1. However, they got the goal. They got a goal against Spain. But yeah, it's in terms of Group B, Sweden for me, I honestly think they could top it.
Yeah,
what's to say they can't?
Started. No,
definitely
got
not.
The game in hand on Spain, 3 from 3.
Spain haven't been the same team that we've been used to all these years since they've won the World Cup and the Euros. So it'll be interesting to see how Group B finishes off. Group D, France at the minute are...
It's an interesting one, isn't it? 5 played, 1-2 drawn 3. A lot of draws there for France.
A lot of draws. Yeah, France, Finland, Ukraine, Bosnia and Kazakhstan. So that is quite a tough group. I'm not taking anything away from Kazakhstan because... They're on 2 points. Bosnia are on 2 points, and Ukraine, Finland are on 5 with France.
Kazakhstan still have the game in hand on Ukraine.
But what's interesting, Finland have got 2 games in hand. France,
yeah, definitely.
Too many draws. Looking at the fixtures going back, France 1-1 Ukraine. They beat Kazakhstan 2-0.
Drew with who did they draw with? Bosnia. Drew with Ukraine, like you said.
Drew Bosnia in the week, and they drew with Ukraine in the week as well.
Yeah,
and they're playing on Tuesday evening. They've got Finland at home. Another draw?
Could well be.
I think so.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it?
It's a very strange group. But if you look at the teams that are on there, you pay France top in the group, and then either Finland and Ukraine.
Yeah, the second place.
Getting through. Definitely. I think Bosnia.
They've got the outsiders chance, like we
They
said with
have.
Kazakhstan
Well, even
as well.
Kazakhstan
You
have.
never know.
Even Kazakhstan, it just takes one win, and they've got the 5 points exactly the same. So,
Absolutely.
Interesting group there. Group E, Belgium, which we've already spoken about. I just want to
We
talk
did
about
speak about
Belgium, top
Belgium,
of the
yeah.
group. Yeah,
Mhm.
in that one with Wales in third, as we mentioned. Group G, over to you for Holland.
Group G. So the Orange Army. Let's have a look at them. Second place, Turkey. That is a tight group actually. So I'll go through it with you guys. So in first place, Turkey played 5, won 3, drawn 2, 11 points. Second place and third place. So we've got Netherlands in second on 10 points. Third place, Norway 10 points. Obviously we've got Mr. Erling Haaland in the Norway team nowadays. That's where their obvious goal threat is from. Interesting group. What do you think, Dan? What's your into Norway's chances? It's been a while since they've been in the tournament as well.
It has indeed, and I think with Haaland now doing what he's doing
That is
best,
the goal threat, isn't it?
it's such a tight group. Looking at it,
Yes.
Turkey. I've got to say, Turkey. I watched the Gibraltar-Turkey game last night, and they weren't great. The first
Was it
half,
2-0,
Gibraltar.
2-0 win? Was it?
It was 3-0 in the end.
Oh, 3-0 in the end. Okay.
Gibraltar have a tendency, when they do concede that first goal, that's when the floodgates open.
Yeah.
And they do play well. I'm looking at the other games. Debar, I've got to say, Gibraltar, they've got a player called Debar. If you're not aware of him, he plays for Wycombe Wanderers. That boy was fantastic last night. Absolutely brilliant. So he's got a really bright future ahead for Gibraltar and for Wycombe
the good
Wanderers.
thing for him is he plays, I think we've touched on, have we touched on Gibraltar before? Their league is quite semi-professional,
It's semi-professional, yeah, but they've got the odd player. They've got the odd player that is around in England.
Setups.
Yeah, I think there's a couple. There's one at Blackburn, and there's one, as we just mentioned, Wycombe Wanderers. But the Turkey for the first half, they struggled, and then once that first goal went in, just 10 minutes after the second half,
but
that's when they came to an end.
That's a tight top three. Goal difference is the only thing.
And we're just looking at
between Netherlands and Norway.
Absolutely. Looking at the fixtures from earlier in the week, Latvia 3, Gibraltar 1, Norway 1, Holland 1. So Haaland got another goal in the week, and then Klaassen for Holland. And Turkey 2, Montenegro 2. And then last night, we had Latvia 0, Norway 2, with Haaland again getting a goal. We've mentioned the Turkey-Gibraltar game, and then Holland with that 4-0 victory over Montenegro. So more fixtures coming up in the week on that one. Montenegro, Latvia, Holland, Turkey.
Holland, Turkey. That is the standout for that group, isn't it? That could
definitely
decide things a little bit.
Definitely, and as much as we love the land of Gibraltar, they're away at Norway. I honestly, at this present moment in time, looking at that group, can't say who's going to finish top and who's going to finish second. It's going to be out of
Netherlands, Turkey, Norway. It's a freeway, I think, isn't it, for that one?
But why? Well, yeah, I'm doing my underdog thing, but why can't Montenegro? Well, look at it this way: Montenegro play Latvia. If Holland and Turkey get the draw, Norway get the win, and Montenegro get the win. Montenegro back in the race.
They're back in the mix, aren't they? It's just goal. Unfortunately for them, it's goal difference because they're on the -1. But they do if they can score some goals and help themselves out with maybe a win against, like you said, against Latvia, sort the goal difference out a little bit. They're in with a chance, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah. And I think it's interesting to me to see what everyone's the listeners' views are. Who are your predictions for each group?
For each group, what to win the groups?
To win each group. Who's going to be those? Okay. Actually, first and second. Who's going to be first and second in each group? Who do you think?
My predictions, starting with Group A. So for me, it's going to be Serbia and Portugal. If I'm going to boil it down to who's going to finish first, who's going to finish second, I think Portugal will finish first. They do tend to sneak it. And Ronaldo obviously is the big help there. But they have got Fernandes, other players who they're starting to link up a bit better nowadays compared to when Ronaldo used to run the show for them. Serbia second, obviously, there. I reckon Sweden are going to top Group B, finish first, Spain second, unfortunately for Kosovo there. Italy, I think they're going to finish first. Switzerland are going to get second. And unfortunately, I reckon Northern Ireland will just miss out. But they look good at the moment. It's good that they got that win. They need that confidence. Group D, I can't look beyond France for first place. Second place is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see Ukraine get second.
Okay.
That's my prediction. Group E, Belgium, I think will win the group unless something goes terribly bad for them. Czech Republic probably will sneak Group E, unless Wales. They definitely need to win their games. Wales do. They can't always rely on Bale. That's going to have to be a thing to think about. See, how old is he now? 32, 33? He's not going to be around on the international scene forever, is he? He's not going to be playing there, so they do need to look at that for the future. Denmark are definitely winning Group F. I can't. That would be catastrophic if they, lost a few games on the bounce in their last 5 games. Israel second. I think that's it. Unfortunately, Scotland fans.
Yep.
Don't think you will qualify, but I'm only predicting, so we will see what actually happens. Group G. Turkey, Netherlands, Norway. That's a tough one.
I can't. Oh yeah, like I said, I can't call that one at the minute.
I'm not going to call that. I don't think. I'm just going to leave that as it stands.
Moving on to Group H then.
Yeah, let's just go to Group H. Group H. We didn't actually cover that one.
We haven't.
That's interesting.
It's
so Russia and Croatia both on 10 points. Russia first. Oh, look at everything's. It's crazy.
There's a chance for everyone.
Russia and Croatia both played 5 games, 1-3, drawn 1, lost 1. Goal difference: 8 goals scored, 4 conceded for Russia, and 5 goals scored, 1 goal conceded for Croatia. I'm going with the fact that because Russia have scored more goals, that's why they're first. But everything's level apart from that, which is crazy.
Pretty much. Russia, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia, Malta, Cyprus. Any one of you could still qualify.
Absolutely. They've all played the same games.
What was the
There's
scores in the week?
literally 6 points between bottom and top.
So we've had Malta. So earlier on in the week, we had Malta 3, Cyprus 0, Russia 0, Croatia 0, Slovenia 1, Slovakia 1. And then yesterday we had Cyprus 0, Russia 2, Slovenia 1, Malta 0, and then Slovakia 0, Croatia 1. With fixtures in the week.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're looking at the table, Croatia are playing Slovenia.
Yep.
Russia are playing Malta, and then Slovakia are playing Cyprus. This one is definitely a tough one. You can't. Croatia straight away for me. They should qualify.
You just on paper you think Croatia. Obviously, in Modric is. You've got who else have they got? Is it Valisic?
Mm-hmm.
Valisic. That's what I want to think of. They've got the experience. They've been there, done that. They know how to get out of groups. But Russia, interesting to see they've started well. They've had some disappointing tournaments in recent years. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep going. Slovenia, Slovakia, you can never write them off to qualify because they've done it recently.
One or the qualifies, don't they? One or the other.
Yeah. It's an interesting group, that one.
Group I we've already done.
Russia
and then the
and Croatia,
group,
I think. But yeah, we'll see. It's tough.
Sorry, we've covered Group I, Group G, so the last group of the group. I'll go ahead with this one. So the teams at the minute. So the teams in this one, you've got Liechtenstein, Iceland, North Macedonia, Germany, Armenia, and Romania. Now you wouldn't think
I've just looked
of the
at
table being the way the table is at the minute. You've got Armenia top. So Armenia currently are top. They are unbeaten. So they've played 4, won 3, drew 1, lost none, and they're on 10 points. Germany currently occupy that second spot. North Macedonia are in third, so 2 points behind Germany. Then you've got Romania in fourth, who are on 6 points. So 1 point behind North Macedonia and 3 behind Germany. And then you've got Iceland on 3 and then Liechtenstein on 0.
Crazy. To see Armenia, they've never been near first or second spot ever, have they, in qualifying?
Armenia have been brilliant. Beat Liechtenstein, they've beat Iceland, they've beat Romania.
Guess
when is
what
that?
The game is this evening?
It's Germany, Armenia. It certainly is. It's over in Stuttgart. I'll be definitely watching that one from my point of view. Iceland are playing North Macedonia and Romania are playing Liechtenstein. For Germany, life has started under Hansi Flick.
Former Bayern Munich boss, wasn't he?
Former Bayern Munich boss. He got himself a 2-0 win. And again, Timo Werner scored. So Chelsea fans, he can score goals.
He can score on the international scene. Hopefully, he will on the Premier League scene sooner or later. But
Absolutely.
He's a hard-working striker, though. He does work for the team.
He does indeed, yeah. And I think Lukaku is going to help him with his game even
Absolutely.
further.
I said this to one of my mates who's a Chelsea fan. I did mention the fact that Lukaku joining Chelsea could bring that confidence out on him as well. on the club scene. Obviously, internationally, he's fantastic. He bangs the goals for Germany, but be good to see what he can do club level with bring that confidence from the internationals to the club scene. That'd be good. But he's a hard-working boy.
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, for me, I'm going to stick my neck out and say Armenia qualify for the World Cup next year.
Played 4, won 3, drawn 1, undefeated in the first 4 games. They play each other twice. They've got 6 games to go, haven't they? If they can get a result tonight away to Germany, even a draw, they're looking good.
Definitely.
They're looking very good.
If they win.
Wow, away to Germany as well. Who can say they can pick up an away win to Germany? I mean, England, we've had the history in the past.
Yes.
Armenia, if Armenia were to beat Germany tonight, that'd be one of the biggest results in qualifying for a long time, in my eyes.
Yep. Without a shadow of doubt, it's good. And like we said last week, I'm a man for the underdog. It'll be great. It'll be great.
It makes things interesting, doesn't it? It breaks it up a little bit.
Definitely. So that's in terms of the international roundup for the Euros. That's it. What I'm going to quickly do, because people may not be looking, I'm just going to quickly tell you who is doing the business in the Asian World Cup qualifiers. So at the minute, as it stands, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Australia, and Saudi Arabia will be heading to the World Cup. In Africa, we've got Algeria, Tunisia, Nigeria.
So is this the guys who've qualified already, is it?
No, these are the guys that are going for qualification, just like the European, but they're currently top of their groups. So it's easier I thought it would just be great just to let people know who's going there. In terms of Africa, Algeria, Tunisia, Nigeria, Cameroon, Mali, Libya, Ghana, Senegal, and Morocco and Benin. They are currently topping their group. So a couple of characters that we know.
Who am I thinking of? Ivory Coast. I didn't hear their name. That's interesting.
Ivory Coast are second in their group. They've got Cameroon in their group. And so either Cameroon or Ivory Coast will make it for that. Egypt, they're currently second as well, looking at that. And when it comes to the CONCACAF, so North America, Mexico, Honduras, and Canada are currently in those spots, but they have only played 1 game for their.
How's our friends over the waters looking? The US of A.
USA are looking. They've got 1 point, so they're draw. There's a lot of draws in those first round fixtures. So so they're currently, they're currently joint second when it comes to that. Business as normal in South America, Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador,
This is
Uruguay.
the likely lot so far.
The likely Brazil have actually not lost a game, played 7, won 7.
Oh, okay, so they're absolutely smashing it.
Absolutely, I believe it is Brazil, Argentina at some point as well.
That's always a good game, always a tasty game, that one.
That's it, yeah. In Australasia, at the minute, it's postponed. Obviously, COVID in that part of the world is quite strict.
Restrictions are very tight again now, aren't
very tight over there. So at the minute, that's postponed. So whether we see the likes of New Zealand at the World Cup next year, we won't know. But yeah, that's a roundup of the internationals. They do come to end. We'll cover some of the midweek games in the week, but obviously next week we want to focus. We want to focus more on the return of the domestic football scene from that point of call. Adie.
Yep.
I'm interested because this is a segment of the show that I do love. Strange football fact from you.
Strange football fact. Let's have a looky here.
What have you got this week?
Strange football fact. It was a West Ham player. I believe it was a centre-back who actually scored a hat-trick against Newcastle. Not just any hat-trick. He was a centre-back who scored against 3 different goalkeepers back in the 80s against Newcastle United. Just something you don't hear of. Someone scoring a hat-trick against 3 different goalkeepers in the same game.
Just to get this right, Alvin Martin, West Ham player, Newcastle played Newcastle United back in 1986. A great year if you were born in 1986, which I was. And he scored a hat-trick, but he scored against 3 individual goalkeepers in that one game.
Just You just never hear of that, do you?
Definitely not. For anyone that doesn't know Alvin Martin was born in Liverpool, but he played 469 games for West Ham, scoring 27 goals.
You just don't see that sort of mileage for a club nowadays, do you?
Definitely not. 469 appearances between 1978 and 1996 for West Ham. 469, 27 goals. And then he moved to Leyton Orient and he retired in 1997. He did have a little stint in management between 97 and 99, playing for Southend United. And he also, if you didn't know, played for England 17 times as well. And talking of England, it's half time. It's England 1, Andorra 0 currently.
Brilliant. In half-time 1-0 up.
I do love the fact. You know what? There's probably one of my favourite sections of of these podcasts is what you're going to come up with next for these strange facts. But fantastic. So
it's just crazy, isn't it? A hat trick from a centre back, 3 different goalkeepers, same game.
I think we're doing well. It's mad the fact that they've had to substitute a goalkeeper 3 times, 2 times. Sorry, he scored against each and every one of them. Personal vendetta, surely, against those Newcastle keepers in April 1986. Very good. And what did we have last week? We had Mark Hughes playing 2 games for.
On the same day, wasn't it? Bayern Munich.
On the same day, Bayern Munich and Wales, and then we had, and that one was from me. Sorry, I've got no interesting fact this week, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to top Alvin Martin getting a hat trick against 3 separate goalkeepers in one game. Just to reiterate, one game, not over 3.
If anybody's interested, doesn't make any difference. West Ham actually won that game 8-1, but there we are.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm not surprised. He scored a hat trick against 3 goalkeepers. Was it actually 3 goalkeepers? Goalkeeper that they've had, and maybe they've had another injury.
I'm just trying to figure out what actually went on to change to have 3 goalkeepers in the game. Start with your first one. He must have been taken off for some reason.
Yep.
Bring the second one on. He must have had an injury or sent off or something happened.
Because it's very unusual to have two keepers on the bench. Yeah. So especially back in the 80s as well.
It's just crazy.
Interesting stuff. I think we're coming into the final section of the podcast for this week.
We're going to do a bit of a roundup on League One, Leagues 2, and non-league, I believe.
We are, but there's a topic, and you know what? It does annoy me, especially TV selections. So I want to talk about the TV selection.
Carabao Cup, yes.
So if you haven't seen already, the TV selections have been given, okay, and they've chosen Norwich versus Liverpool and Manchester United versus West Ham as the TV coverage. So Sky have selected those for TV coverage. And if you didn't know already, the fixtures for the Carabao Cup in the next round features 6 Premier League teams playing Championship sides, 2 Premier League teams playing League One, 2 Premier League sides playing League Two teams, 1 Championship versus League One, and then 1 League One versus 1 League One team. But they want to choose all Premier League teams. And we know why. Because
we know why, don't we?
It draws people in, and it's the big clubs and this and that and that. But for me, I'm sorry, but there's a couple of fixtures on there that I would much prefer to see. And I'm not saying this again, and it is going to involve two teams. Arsenal, Wimbledon. There's a chance there with the start that Arsenal have had this season. And the team that they will potentially put out, in the Carabao Cup, why can't Wimbledon get on the telly? Man City, Wycombe. You know Pep's going to play a second string or third string or fourth string.
But then you think of Man City's second string.
Exactly.
It's a cracking second string, but it'll be interesting though to see how deep he rotates the squad, wouldn't it, for that game?
Well, he loves the Carabao Cup, don't he? Man City in general love that Carabao Cup.
He's mentioned it before, hasn't he, publicly? He likes to actually go for that.
It's a trophy at the end of the day. Yeah, it's a trophy.
He's a born
and no
winner.
doubt during the season,
sees,
we'll speak about how clubs perceive certain trophies and things like that. But those 2 fixtures stand out to me. Brentford versus Oldham, Burnley versus Rochdale, Brighton versus Swansea.
It's frustrating, isn't it, to be honest? I mean, I would love to see Brentford versus League Two Oldham. Why can't we see games like that? Why? It's always the underdog. You want to, as a neutral, it's nice to think, oh, will the underdog win this game or get a
And that's
result
the
or
interesting
take
point.
them further than extra time, go to penalties maybe. I don't
Definitely, and
think for
that's
the
the
Carabao
interesting
Cup
point.
they have extra time now. It's just
There's
penalties.
a story from both teams here, isn't there? And I
Exactly.
agree with you. Brentford versus Oldham would be my choice. And there's a story for both here. Oldham are struggling massively in League Two at the minute. They've got financial struggle. They've got a lot of issues. Fans were on the pitch again, and it disrupted the game at the weekend yesterday.
Yeah.
And Brentford are flying high. They've just been promoted to the Premier League for the first time.
They're on cloud
unbeaten.
nine, aren't they?
I just don't understand the thought process that goes into them. Well, I do.
Selection. Surely the TV for like Sky for their selections of games, they should be thinking of what would draw the fans in. What game would be of interest? I mean, you see Man U versus West Ham's every. They're always on TV, aren't they?
Exactly.
Or your Norwich Liverpool, you see them as well.
Norwich have just played Liverpool. Norwich have just played Liverpool on the telly, and why? That doesn't interest me. The likes of Arsenal, Wimbledon, Brentford, Oldham, Burnley, Rochdale. I'd even watch Burnley versus Rochdale. It's a Lancashire derby.
And then, like you said, the other Premier League game as well, even though it's not on TV, if it was to be put on TV, like a Wolves-Tottenham, again, to me, I wouldn't be interested.
At first, I initially thought they were going to put that on the telly before these came out. I thought Wolves-Tottenham would be on there because of the new.
Because of the whole Nuno Santos.
Exactly that. Yeah. But it's just a topic, and I'll be interested. I'll be interested to in the comments if you can, whether it's on Twitter and Facebook. Pop in, have a look at your. Definitely, yeah, because I don't know about you, but I'm really frustrated with the TV selection when it comes to cup games. I love the FA Cup. You know what? The BBC do a fantastic job with the FA Cup.
They do.
The first qualifying rounds kicked off over the weekend.
Yes, and I was on the red button on the
red button,
website.
And I was quite fortunate to see a local team of mine. It was Lichfield City versus Nuneaton being my local team. And you know what? The coverage was fantastic. And it's just great to see these lower league teams getting an opportunity. It may not be directly on the telly, but just having a platform available, whether it's on the iPlayer or on the red button, to actually see these non-league clubs play.
Absolutely.
On the telly.
It gives fans, like, as a football fan, it's nice to see something different sometimes. To see a Lichfield versus a Nuneaton in a cup game, very early cup game, obviously qualifying.
Exactly that.
To see it on a national provider, BBC, how great is that?
Under normal circumstances, I would have popped down to Lichfield and watched Lichfield versus Nuneaton. But I thought, you know what, yesterday I wanted to see how the coverage was actually done by the BBC for
how they actually produce it and show you what's going on.
It was brilliant. Leon Osman was on the. You know, it was a great crowd there. I think it was their highest crowd that, even though it was on the telly.
Yeah,
I think it was about 800 people that went,
which
is about 7 times more than what they would normally get. They average about 100.
Brilliant.
Between 80 and 100.
I know it's a cliche, but it's the magic of the cup.
It's the magic of the cup, absolutely. Talking of the local team, I've just done mine. How did yours get
City?
On? Yeah,
it's not been great recently. I'm going to be honest. Where do I start with Worcester? We were in Conference North going back a couple seasons. Got relegated due to financial issues. Currently in the Midlands Alliance League. It's way down the chain. I think it's a couple divisions below Conference North, which is the one just below the main conference. It's not been great recently. Very struggling at the moment to get results. Missed a few key players through injury. Just can't score, and losing games they shouldn't be losing. But see how things pick up. We actually have a ground in Worcester now because there was a lot of issues with finding a place to play. For the last few years, they were playing at Kidderminster's ground down the road. Used Bromsgrove as well. Finally came home this season, actually. Moved into Claims Lane in Worcester. First time in 7 years back in the city, which is crazy.
That's mad.
But hopefully, it's just good to see football back in the city.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? It's unfortunate because we mentioned about Gloucester City last week and how long they were away, and that part of the country seems to be
struggling.
Yeah. Teams in the grounds. Am I right in saying? Correct me if wrong. I know you're quite close to Worcester, but did the fans create another club?
Yes, there is another club in the city.
Okay.
They actually play. We're not going to talk much about rugby because it's not our. It's not what we do. But they actually play at Six Ways in Worcester, which is the Worcester Warriors, the Rugby Premier League team stadium. They're actually owned by Worcester Warriors. It's Worcester Raiders, the football club.
So Worcester Raiders Football Club, and they're owned by the Warriors.
They could be another Salford story. Salford.
Oh, really?
Yes, definitely. They've got money behind them. The owners seem to be putting them in the right direction. I mean, Six Ways. What's the capacity? I think it's about 10,000.
I've been Six Ways.
So you're looking at a league. You're looking at a League Two capacity to start with.
Okay.
Ground really. So they could be on an
facility. They've got the facilities.
So they could overtake. Yeah, definitely, and they could overtake Worcester City very soon.
Okay.
I'm personally saddened to say, but it's good for the city overall.
You know what? You're following. It was a very similar story for the Nuneaton when the Nuneaton Borough, the original Nuneaton Borough, went into administration.
They had to restart the rebuild, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And we had to we reformed as Nuneaton Town, and then thankfully it took the community quite a while, and then we got the borough name back, so the Nuneaton Borough on there. But
little things like that makes it, doesn't it? Getting the name.
Definitely. And you know what? I'll be interested in the viewers. Who's your local non-league club? Again, pop it in the comments, tweet us.
Absolutely, non-league fans. Get in, make your comments. Tell me who, about anything. Go on.
Tell me who your non-league club is, and then we'll stick them on our list, and we'll keep an eye out and give people further coverage of non-league football, because
it'd be nice to hear stories, wouldn't it, about what makes you go. Yeah, give us your passion for your non-league clubs. Definitely,
yeah. And just to mention as well, we're going to be reaching out soon to get some supporters of clubs to come on and do a little segment. We'll ask you some questions about your club, and you can tell us about your club and how you feel like you're going to be going for the season. But and also TV selections. We're putting it out there. Let's have a bit more thought, thought process when it comes to selecting the coverage.
I'm going to be keeping an eye on the FA Cup this season. I'll be keeping a very big eye on that. See what they select for BBC games. Is it just BBC who've got the coverage this season? Do we know? For the
BBC, it'd be BT as well.
BT as well. Okay.
Yep.
So they've still got coverage, so they split the games. What I was going to say is for the social medias. So for let's go with Twitter first. If you do want to find us, it's twitter.com/ATF on Anchor. Or if you just search for All Things Football on Twitter, you should find us on there quite easy. Facebook, it's facebook.com/All Things Football podcast, I believe. And you should be able to find us on there. If you want to send like me and Dan have both said, if you want to talk about your non-league club, talk about the game selections for the Carabao Cup, just talk about your clubs, throw your messages in, and we may talk about it.
Couldn't agree more. I'm bringing some better news. So it's BBC and ITV. They now have the FA Cup, right? So both
is BT completely gone now, or are they still?
BT are not showing FA Cup football. So
fantastic. Back to normal TV.
Absolutely, yeah. For fans that can't watch the glamour of the FA Cup, because I still find it a tournament. I would love for my club to win the FA Cup, especially in my lifetime. But the BBC have got they're going to be showing 18 live matches per season.
That's brilliant.
And ITV will be showing at least 20 live matches per season.
The fact that they're both splitting it as well, it gets more coverage for people who don't have Sky or have BT boxes and things like that as well.
It'll be great because now supporters get the opportunity, and I think BBC and ITV will choose their games wisely. They always have done.
They tend to.
They do. There was an opportunity.
What was it a few seasons ago? I'm just trying to
Marine Tottenham.
Yes,
Marine Tottenham. Yeah. There was
that. So different.
There was a chance they wouldn't have picked that game because of the other games that were actually on in that draw at the time. But thankfully they did. And it was good. It was great.
And I believe that was BBC. I think, off the top of my head as well. It was indeed.
It was indeed.
So we do have a good track record there.
Fantastic. But exactly what Adie says. Subscribe to the podcast platform that you prefer to listen to, that we do pop it on. And by all means, please, follow us on Facebook. Give us a like on Twitter as well. And then, keep your comments coming in. If you don't want to put it publicly, you feel free to send a
direct message.
Send a message. But yeah, please let me know about your predictions for the Euros. Who's going to qualify for the World Cup next year? Your TV selections. Who would you like to have seen on the TV for the next round of the Carabao Cup? And also, big thing to me and Adie, your non-league club as well.
Absolutely, we want to hear your stories, definitely, and your views. Send them to us.
Send us some questions as well. I'll be interested to see some questions, and yeah, I'm really keen to get some supporters on of some clubs to hear how your views on how you're getting on
That's definitely
with your
something
season.
we've talked about, hasn't it? Down the line, we want to hear views and get people on the show eventually as well.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is listen to me.
Things.
Yeah, listen to me for over an hour. So it'd be good to listen to someone else.
Get a different voice in there, different
Definitely,
clubs, different
absolutely,
supporters, absolutely.
So
going back to listening to the podcast as well. The link is anchor.fm. Sorry, Foxtrot Mike. I'm going to go into the phonetic alphabet there. Anchor.fm / All Things Football Podcast. You go on there. You can listen. I think there's like 6 different platforms. You've got the Anchor, the main website. You can listen on Spotify, and I believe you can also go on to Apple Podcasts, various others as well. Whatever you're choosing,
Google, Breaker.
feel free. Yeah, feel free to listen to us on whatever platform you wish.
Absolutely. Really enjoyed, and we're really I just want to say thank you for people that have reached out and gave us some feedback already. It's going to take us a while, it's going to take us a while. I was a bit
we're new to the podcast game, aren't we?
So. Yeah, I was a bit apprehensive for this week's because it was international football. I don't get me wrong, I love international football, but I'm more domestic in terms.
I'm going to be honest as well. I'm mainly for the club football.
You'll probably hear it. You'll probably hear it, guys. Listening through how we've come alive since we've talked probably about the TV selections and obviously the non-league side of things.
Absolutely.
As well. But talking about international football, second half is underway. England are still leading Andorra 1-0. So I think it's time to come in towards the end and talking of domestic football. Would we call this my segment, my roundup of the leagues?
Absolutely. Yes, Leagues 1, Leagues 2 and non-league.
So there were a couple of same as last week, there were a few games played. So yesterday we had just the 3 games yesterday because obviously some teams have still got some international call-ups.
Yes.
And obviously COVID as well is causing problems with certain games. But Accrington Stanley, they beat Shrewsbury 1-0. AFC Wimbledon got a fantastic win yesterday against Oxford United, winning 3-1. Brilliant. And we was mentioning about Oxford last week and how well of a start they did.
We were raving about them, weren't we?
We were indeed. And you know what? Carl Robertson, he's a bit of a villain in that part of the world. So yeah, any Wimbledon fans or any Oxford fans, let me know why he's that much of a villain in that part of the world. I can find out myself, but I'll be interested to hear your views when it comes to that.
Any Wimbledon fans, Oxford, or going back to Accrington, any fans, get in touch.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what league. It doesn't matter what league it's in. Nope. Get yourselves on. Cheltenham in the final game. Cheltenham won. MK Dons won. So Cheltenham still doing really well on that one. And MK Dons,
League One, haven't they?
They've done well. They've adapted to life quite well when it comes to that. And we've got the one fixture tomorrow night. So if you are interested, so Monday the 6th of September, if you listen to this podcast, Sky are showing Bolton Wanderers versus Burton Albion tomorrow evening. Yeah, so Ian Evatt up against Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank tomorrow night. But Sunderland under Lee Johnson, they didn't play yesterday, but they are still top of the league. Obviously, Accrington Stanley under John Coleman, they are sitting in second now. So Accrington Stanley are second in League One.
In League One, that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Wimbledon, again, 3-1 win under Mark Robinson this season, 3-1 win over Oxford. They are currently in 9th position, so they're doing well. AFC Wimbledon. It'd be good, wouldn't it? It'd be great to see Wimbledon in the top 2 leagues again. I'm more interested in Accrington Stanley right now. I'm looking at that table thinking, what a sandwich that is. Sunderland first.
Played 6, won 4, drawn none, lost 2.
Absolutely fantastic.
Great start. And they're on level 1 points with Sunderland as well.
They are indeed, yeah. So looking at that,
they are in a hell of a top 6 as well. So Sunderland top, like you said. Accrington Stanley second, Sheff Wednesday third, followed by Wigan, Portsmouth, and Wycombe, the favourites to go up as well.
Great league, and we mentioned it last week. What a fantastic league that's going to be. I'm going to leave it there for League One because there was only a few games.
Only 3 games, wasn't there?
And the only real
like
difference.
You said, Bolton game on the Monday, but that's tomorrow night, isn't it?
That's tomorrow night. But yeah, the only real difference was Accrington Stanley moving up to 2nd, and obviously Oxford last week when we were on the podcast, they were 3rd. They've dropped now down to 7th. But again, just remember that a lot of games were called off yesterday due to internationals and COVID and things like that. Moving to League Two. So yesterday we had Bradford play Walsall in front of 16,000 in League One, League Two yesterday.
League Two. Yeah.
So taking advantage, I think fans are taking advantage because many people know when international weekends happen, it's often called non-league day. So it's an opportunity for fans of Premier League and Championship clubs to go to their local non-league clubs, and from time to time, that non-league club will do maybe an offer if you've got a season ticket and so forth as well.
Do we know if the teams advantage of the international break with their fans as well? Do we know if they have any deals?
Yeah, definitely. Bradford definitely took advantage of that yesterday. I watched the highlights this morning. Bristol Rovers, have finally got a win. So they beat Crawley yesterday. A full house. Pretty much. Well, Bristol Rovers, you anticipate it would be.
They've got a great fan base, haven't they, there?
They have indeed. Carlisle 2, Salford 1.
Salford, just
so Chris Beach doing really well with Carlisle. They're up to 8th. Salford's still struggling. They're in 20th.
Oh, wow, 20th, yeah.
Struggling. And you know what? Everyone, Gary Bowyer is the manager of Salford these days.
Manager,
yeah. I don't know. Salford fans that have had views. Tell me about Gary Bowyer. I've never really rated him, if I'm honest with you. I think Salford have had some really good managers.
I know a certain Blackburn Rovers fan who didn't really rate him either, to be honest, when he was managing Blackburn a few seasons ago. So yeah, definitely get your views in, Salford City fans.
Definitely, and I'll be interested to see. Well, in that case, I'll be definitely interested to hear his views. So if we can get him on, that would be fantastic. And then second, it will be good to hear him let Salford fans know about Gary Bowyer as well.
What he thinks of Gary Bowyer at his time at Blackburn.
Definitely, indeed.
So what was where are they in the table? Like we said, 20th.
Salford the 20th.
1-1, drawn 2, lost 3. It's not good. It's not good for them, the money that's been pumped into that club, is it really?
Definitely not.
You'd expect them to pick up though, but we'll see.
We'll see. Well, they got the win earlier last weekend, as we mentioned. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. It's too early days for the table at the minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Colchester, Sutton, that was unfortunately postponed due to COVID rather than internationals. Exeter 0, Forest Green 0. So Forest Green, 2 games now. They had a great start, and then they've taken the foot off the gas a little bit. Towards the last couple of games. Mansfield 1, Harrogate 3. So that was yesterday, probably my game of the day yesterday. Harrogate Town, Weaver. And Simon Weaver's been there for a very, very long time as manager of Harrogate. He has brought them through the leagues.
That's incredible.
They're doing fantastic.
From non-leagues to top of League 2. Played 5, won 4, drawn 1.
And they've got a game in hand.
On level points with Forest Green, who've been in that league for some time, but obviously did come from the non-leagues in the past as well. Incredible.
And they're currently top, so they've got that top spot. I think, is it goals scored?
Goals scored seems to be the difference there, because it's goal difference 6.
Really excited to see. And the good thing as well for me and you is probably me and you wouldn't talk normally about League 1, League 2.
No,
when we used to talk
this much detail.
But now this is a great opportunity for us to be able to delve a little bit deeper in these leagues and talk about. And you know what, I'm learning more and more about these clubs. As we do the research and things like that into the show. But yeah, what a fantastic win yesterday.
Mansfield for Harrogate though as well.
Definitely, Simon Weaver's doing a fantastic job with the boys there. Big manager, Mansfield. Yeah, Mansfield under Nigel Clough. They are still.
He's a big name in that league, isn't he? When he was previously at Burton in years gone by.
Big time, yeah. There's a couple of big names in that league. Keith Curl, Nigel Clough, Kenny Jackett. There's some massive
Kenny
names.
Jackett,
Joey Barton.
Interesting subject, isn't he, Mr. Barton?
You know, I've under the circumstances and things that are going on in his personal life and the things like that, I actually honestly think he did well at Fleetwood, and I think that's portraying this season for Fleetwood, because they're in the lower halves of the league. But we'll see how that goes towards the end of the season. Newport 2, Leyton Orient 2, so a nice draw there for Newport. Northampton 2, Scunthorpe 0. Oldham 0, Barrow 3. So again, another topic from last week for Barrow. I think Adie, you said
about. Yeah,
Harrogate.
That's right. Yeah,
but
like we
so
talked
Barrow
about with Oldham, that the club's in turmoil, isn't it?
They
Massively.
really are. And watching the highlights, they didn't show too much from it. But yeah, fans coming on. They, you know what? They didn't storm on. They just came on peacefully, sat in the centre circle. Not too sure what happened after, but the game did resume, and it ended in a 3-0 win for Barrow.
When there's a protest from the fans, it's their way.
It's been going on for a while.
Sending a message, isn't it?
I don't know how best way to put this, but unfortunately, it seems there's a lot of clubs around the Manchester area that are in a bit of turmoil. You look at Bury,
and then you think of the Bury story. They went out.
Look at Oldham,
Rochdale.
They're in trouble. Wigan, they've had their problems.
They've had their
Wigan's
issues.
is a bit
Thankfully,
different.
They're looking okay, and now in the League One, aren't they? But
Bolton,
Bolton have been there.
There's a lot of clubs in that Manchester area, in that Greater Manchester region, that are struggling at the minute. I don't know what more I can say. I'm just putting that out there. If anyone else has got a view on that particular,
it's quite sad, isn't it? Sometimes, like the Greater Manchester area, it's quite sad to see like the how far away these clubs, like you've mentioned, your Berries, who unfortunately went out of business, Bolton, Rochdale, Oldham. How unfortunate is it to see the difference between them and the likes of Man City and Manchester United, and even Liverpool, if we're going to talk about the Northwest area in general, how far apart these clubs are financially and everything.
They always will be there, won't they?
Always will. But it's just sad to see when finances are a struggle for the lower teams. It's just sad sometimes, isn't it? Really, like Bury going out of business is just awful for their fans, especially.
The EFL need to. I don't think there's a reform that's needed. There's definitely got to be some conversations. I think the Premier League. I honestly believe the Premier League are doing what they can do. I think there could more. I think in more
recent years they have. Yeah.
I think more could be done.
Could more be done? Yeah.
But I think we're lucky. I think we're lucky, unless I've missed anything. I think we're lucky the fact that we've come through this COVID period behind closed doors and not seen
more teams
drop.
Drop.
Yeah, more a club that has drops. But
speaking of Clear, wasn't there Macclesfield Town? Didn't they? They had a lot of issues before they.
Same period as Bury. Yeah, same period as Bury. And Bolton.
I think they're still going, aren't they?
So they're reformed. So Robbie Savage is part of the team that brought them back to life. So Macclesfield.
Oh, okay.
So Macclesfield FC, they're just called now. They're still playing at Moss Lane in Macclesfield.
But I presume they had to start from the bottom of the ladder again.
They absolutely, yeah, they are, and they're quite happy to do that.
That's good. They've still got a club.
They have indeed, yeah. And you know what? It didn't take too long. It was kind of like it happens. They went into liquidation, and then they brought Macclesfield FC straight back. Yes, Brilliant. In the lower leagues, but yeah, the club's still at the grounds. They've, by the looks of things, if you follow Robbie Savage on his Instagram and Twitter and that, he mentions them quite often. But yeah, they're building them back, which is a good thing there. Back to League Two, Port Vale 2, Rochdale 3.
Good result for Rochdale. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, Stevenage 1, Swindon 1, and then Tranmere 1, Hartlepool 0. So yeah, so looking at the table, you got Harrogate Town and Forest Green and Bradford in the promotion spots. Swindon, Northampton, Leyton Orient, and Hartlepool in the playoffs.
It's interesting to see Barrow in 9th, just on the cusp, aren't they?
I said they're just on the cusp. Very similar to Harrogate.
Very early, but
we talked about that last week. Syndrome thing with Sheffield United and that, but it's the opposite for Harrogate. This league, they're back in the Football League. Well, for Harrogate, they're back in the Football League, first time in the Football League, and then for Barrow, they've returned after, I think it was 60 odd years. Barrow had been away.
It's a fair play.
Yeah, they're in their second season, doing well. Sutton, they are bottom, but they're having obviously problems with COVID at the minute. They've had to cancel a couple of games due to waiting for their pitch to be done.
Was it Sutton? Yeah, I was going to mention that Sutton United, they had to play their home games at a different location for the start of the season, didn't they?
So
because they were having their
Harrogate did that last season.
No.
Yeah, that was Harrogate. Harrogate did that last season because the teams in the lower leagues, they have these 3G pitches because it means that they can use it all year round. And Football League, and again, I think we'll touch on this more and more as the season goes on, but the EFL don't allow those pitches. So Harrogate last season had to play first 2 or 3 games at Doncaster before their pitch was done. Barrow were okay. They had theirs sorted already, but Sutton
quite quick,
played their first 2 games away from home. And then obviously
the first 2 away. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how they get on. But yeah, Salford in 20th, Bristol Rovers in 16th, Nigel Clough's Mansfield in 14th. Like I said,
Tranmere
the table,
11th.
Yeah, the table to me means nothing until those 10
games. No, we'll get to that 10 games and we'll see.
And then we'll delve a little bit more into it. And then into non-league. I'm only looking, when it comes to non-league, I'm just looking at the top positions because obviously we want promotion, we want teams. So I've got the first 7 in the National Premier League yesterday. There were a betting man yesterday for both teams to score. You would have won some serious money yesterday. I tell you now. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Altrincham 3, Dover 2. Borehamwood 0, Stockport 0. Chesterfield 2, Bromley 2. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Wealdstone 2. Eastleigh 3, Kings Lynn 3.
Wow.
Grimsby 4, Barnet 3.
Oh my lord.
Maidenhead 3, Torquay 4. Notts County 3, Aldershot 2. Solihull Moors 3, Weymouth 4. Southend 2, Wrexham 2, and then Yeovil 1, Halifax 0.
That's 2 4-3s. Couple of 3-3. That's crazy.
3 clubs failed to score yesterday. Borehamwood 0, Stockport County 0, and then Halifax in the game that was live on the BT last night against Yeovil. They were the only teams. But so I'm very often one to do a both teams to score bet. I honestly don't think I will see something like that again.
No,
there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, 9 games there. You could have had a 9-fold on them 9 games. You would have won some serious money yesterday. But in the terms of the table, as we mentioned, Dagenham and Redbridge 2-2 with Wealdstone. They still sit top. Chesterfield drew 2-2 with Bromley. They're in second. Borehamwood got the 0-0.
Borehamwood. Third.
Against Stockport, and then Notts County, Grimsby, Woking, and Wrexham make up the rest.
Top 3 all joint on 10 points as well.
All joint on 10. As a man that loves an underdog, good luck to Borehamwood and Woking.
Definitely. That's what I was looking at. Borehamwood. That's the name that stuck out for me like a sore thumb.
They had a chance, didn't they, a few years ago in the playoff final, but unfortunately they didn't quite make it. But yeah, obviously they're making themselves known in that part of the world. But yeah, so that's the National League Premier. In terms of the North, just covering off the games from yesterday. So in terms of the table, AFC Fylde, they are top. They drew yesterday with Kettering Town. Drew 0-0 with Blythe Spartans yesterday, so both the top 2 drawing 0-0 yesterday. Kidderminster, who are in third, they also drew 0-0, so complete opposite from the Premier in the North. Hardly any goals scored. So Guiseley 0, Kidderminster 0. Leamington 0, Curzon 3, and Curzon sit in fourth. Hereford 0. You mentioned Hereford last week, obviously rivalry of Worcester and things like that. Yeah, Hereford 0, Spennymoor 0, and then Southport 3, Gateshead 3 in the North. So yeah, I think the winning streak is gone in that league. I think Fylde and Brackley Town, they were unbeaten, played 4-1-4, but I think that's now gone on that part. And then in the South, the National League South, Dartford are top and they are unbeaten. They have played all their games so far this season and won, and that included a victory yesterday over Bath City. And Dartford are there or thereabouts. They're normally in the Prem or the South, so they're pretty much there or thereabouts. Maidstone United, they're in second. They played Oxford City yesterday and won 3-1. Sorry. Concord Rangers. So if you're unaware of Concord Rangers, they're down in Canvey Island in Essex. So Concord doing the business at the minute, third, and win against Hemel Hempstead yesterday, 1-0. Big game yesterday in the South. If you don't follow non-league football, there was a big game yesterday, and it was Ebbsfleet United against Havant and Waterlooville, a 2-1 victory. Yep, 2-1 victory for Havant and Waterlooville. So Havant sit in fourth and Ebbsfleet are in sixth. So they're both in those playoff spots.
There, aren't they?
They are indeed. And then St Albans won, Chippenham won. Chippenham are in the playoffs as well. And then last but not least, Braintree Town. Unfortunately, their game was postponed yesterday for COVID-related reasons. And that brings a roundup of non-league football. I'm just going to look ahead just before we end the show. I think we've got, 5 minutes left.
Should we look ahead to next week?
I'm just going to look at the fixtures for next week. So Premier League-wise, next week, we know it's the return of Cristiano Ronaldo. They are at home to Newcastle. But fixture-wise, next season, Hotspurs are top of the league, currently play 3-1-3. They've got Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Norwich, Brentford, Brighton, Leicester, Man City. Oh, that's a big game.
That's a big game, yeah.
Southampton, West Ham, Watford, Wolves, Chelsea versus Villa. And then on Sunday, we've got Leeds versus Liverpool. And then Monday,
good game.
Monday Night Football, we've got Everton versus Burnley. And if you didn't know, Mikel Antonio is currently the top scorer in the Premier League with 4 goals. Championship.
So on the Friday night, we've got Birmingham City versus Derby County, 8 o'clock kickoff. And then on the Saturday, we have got Blackburn Rovers versus Luton Town, followed by Blackpool versus Fulham. Bournemouth versus Barnsley. That could be an interesting game. Bristol City versus Preston North End. Coventry Middlesbrough. That sounds like a Premier League game from about 20 years ago, that one. Reading QPR. Be interested to see if QPR can keep up the pace at the top. Sheffield United. Can they get the first win of the season against Peterborough United? That'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Stoke City versus Huddersfield Town. I think they're both up there in the top 6 somewhere.
So was that Stoke versus Huddersfield?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
That's quite a big game, really, isn't it?
That is I'm pretty sure they're close at the top, aren't they?
Yeah, Huddersfield in 4th, Stoke in 5th. Yeah, big game.
There we are. That's going to be a big one, yeah. Swansea City versus Hull City, and then we've got West Bromwich Albion versus Millwall on the Saturday. I don't think there's going to be any games on the Sunday for the Championship.
I think there is, yeah. There's Nottingham Forest.
There is one, sorry,
yeah. Nottingham Forest fans. Cardiff?
Forest versus Cardiff, yeah. That could be a pretty good game, actually, yeah.
Big time. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Premier League returning. I'm looking forward to the getting the domestic scene back underway. Like we mentioned, we will mention the games in the week.
Tuesday, Wednesday internationals.
Yeah. And then we'll get back into like the podcast the first podcast, into a bit more conversation around the leagues, what the topics are of that point. I'm still interested to see how the government do the return of the safe standing on that one. And I just want to say as well, I was right about
going to Birmingham.
He went to Birmingham.
Yeah,
absolutely. Called it.
We can see that coming, can't we?
Definitely. But from me, for this week, I'll leave it again for Adie to finish up and wrap up. But thanks you very much from me for listening. And we'll speak again next week.
Brilliant. We'll speak to you next week, Dan. So, just to finish, I'll just thank you for everybody who's given us love and appreciation for the first episode. It's fantastic to see reviews. Any little criticisms, little things we could do better for the listening experience, let us know. But obviously, we do want to hear about different views on your clubs. Anything to do with your clubs, really. That would be fantastic. Again, I'll wrap up the website. So to listen to us, if you go to the anchor.fm website / All Things Football Podcast, you can find all our platforms on there. So again, that's anchor.fm / All Things Football Podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all sorts on there, whatever's best for your listening needs. And then you can find us on Twitter, which is twitter.com / ATF on Anchor, or just search All Things Football. You should find us on there. And we're on facebook.com / All Things Football Podcasts. Fantastic. Hope you enjoy, and we'll speak again next week. Bye-bye for now.